I just finished automating everything, which means it's time to start building again. Today, I'm going to head over to the steel mill and begin adding railways, fixing up the terrain, and building auxiliary warehouses for future steel forging. But most importantly, I'm going to assemble a monorail system for moving molten steel out of the blast furnace building and over to the forging areas. I only need 7 more beef, and then I can upgrade the colony to be able to support 50 colonists. I know that seems kind of strange, but I have to research it in the university. And it costs 64 steak. I think that was 6 from 1 cow. Oh good, there's my steak. Let's go upgrade the colony to have 50 people. Yes, I would like an outpost, and the steak increases in quantity all the way to 500 steak. But anyways, there we go. Hello. Hey, it looks like it got the thing. Your researchers have made conclusions about outposts. That means we can now have 50 people living in the colony. I don't know how many there are there right now. I think it's probably maxed out, but we'll go check. Oh look, we already have 27 people. We need more housing, but there's 3 children right now. So it's time to start on the steel mill area, which includes actually the interior of the steel mill. I'll see what I can get done on that as well. And another thing I want to do, I want to build, let me go into just spectator mode here. I'm going to build the railway that goes over here. This little estuary in the river is going to get probably completely covered up and replaced with a railway. Need to build the stuff under here. It's just floating. Going to be fixing up the outside of this. Going to be doing the inside of it, going to be doing the railways, and also I want to build the at least one of the other warehouse buildings that's going to go here where we're going to have other stuff. And it also seems like not a bad idea to have my eventual copper, zinc, and brass plants over here. I'm going to add a mod that adds molten versions of that stuff so that I can kind of like deal with all molten metal the way that you get molten steel out of this and out of blast furnaces. It seems like it would fit the theme. Then I'll move my cannon casting over here and make better cannon casting systems. Oh, and most importantly, I'm going to make a monorail, although it's going to be a weird monorail. It's not one for riding on with passengers. It's for carting big containers of molten steel. It's going to look pretty cool, I think. Quite a good amount of landscaping here. Now to figure out where the rails are going to go before I start doing more landscaping over here. I've been using cobblestone as a layer under the grass, mainly because I never know when I'm going to be replacing a bunch of stuff with sand or gravel that I don't want to fall down, so that's why it's actually 2 layers here. But anyways, I'm going to come over here now and attach a new rail from here. I guess it's probably going to go right off of this part over here and then start angling that way. Although it's going to be a little weird because it's going to stay elevated here and then part of it's going to curve over here and there'll be an elevated rail very close by here and some other stuff that I have to figure out, and then 2 rail lines here. Don't know what they're going to do, what they're going to be for right now, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? I sure hope I have a lot of rails left. Okay, I've got 2,000 of them. That's pretty good. I actually had no idea how many I had remaining. Well, this should be fun, shouldn't it? Let's start right here. Come on, can't connect from a turn. Oh good, there's 1 connection. Now seems like the perfect opportunity to show you something that I cut out a few videos ago, but is extremely relevant now. Well, you guys were right. You suggested for the drawbridge that I use phantom rails because they're invisible. They don't actually move with contraptions, but they might as well not be there. Now there's one test that might screwed up, which is sitting right behind me. And we'll try it in a sec, but look, it's on the drawbridge right now, and the drawbridge is assembled. You can just raise it up, and no problem. Train's still there, train's just floating. So, there's one question. What happens when you drive a ship through those invisible rails? No, you're not connected to 32,000 other blocks, you dingus. Here. Yay. But if you're wondering how this is done with Valkyrian Skies, Clockwork, and Eureka ships. This is mainly why I care about drawbridges. Obviously there is no problem. We just went through the train and we went through the rails. I could probably drive through the entire bridge if I wanted and it wouldn't matter, but that would be unrealistic and cringe. That means over here, I am at liberty to make whatever I want. Any kind of drawbridge. The drawbridge is purely aesthetic, which is important. Aesthetics are very important, okay? But, okay, so now that you know what my plan is, this is not going to stay here forever. I just kind of want this for now. And I will swap this out with phantom tracks once we actually get to building the drawbridge. In the meantime, how bad is it going to be trying to make a 45-degree turn that way? Is that as sharp as I can make it? All the way over there? How's that position look? Ugh. Not good enough. Hang on, let me go over here and see just what it would take. Maybe I can shift some stuff around. So I don't really want these two tracks over here, probably any closer than that to the building. And I'd prefer it even farther away if I can get away with it. That's probably about as good as I'd want it. So I need to get a track, let's just say from right here. Let's go diagonally first. Okay, something like this. That will be hard pressed to go up there and make that turn, let alone the track that's even farther on the outside. But here's an idea. What if I had a double line of rails on the drawbridge and then the other one went over in that direction so that you could go back into the main network? That might be a good idea. Might kind of solve the problem of the spacing. So I plan to have the railway come over here and run next to this catwalk. So where I eventually can unload stuff, like unload materials to go to the blast furnaces. Well, I solved the rail situation, even if it's a little bit weird. There's this track here, which goes over here, and it only goes up 2 blocks. I decide on that. Then it goes over here, and there's lots and lots of room where the train should be able to park just fine. And then it's going to back out of the station, hopefully. And then it can go back the way it came if it wants, but then actually that way. Alternatively, it could go over here and then follow this all the way around, and then it just kind of stops there. So if you look on the map, maybe there'll be some kind of other warehouse or something. Maybe there's a future use for the track over there. Right now it's going to kind of dead end and it's more decorative. But what I may as well do now is, before this tornado shows up, I see I have already been pulled off of this. Before the tornado gets much closer, I'm going to go and grab a machine that I haven't used in a little bit. I'm going to use the track lane machine in order to deploy a ton of gravel. Part of which needs to go here because the rail yard got trashed by, you guessed it, a tornado in a few videos ago. In fact, it was the first tornado that ever happened on this world before I got rid of block damage. There seems to be one small problem though. There's 13 gravel in here. Here, it's connected. It doesn't actually even have a train station. I should really do something different with this. Well, that's not terrible. It's a little uneven. I'll have to fix it up a little bit, add some more gravel, but not bad. Current plan is to fully terraform all of the ground here. Basically, we're going to just be doing one layer. Turn it from nasty cobblestone, empty spaces, broken shoreline, floating rails, and grass. We're going to turn it into something nice. I'm going to lay out the foundations for 2 buildings. One building over here, I may have to clear out more, and then another building over here up until this railway. Let's not waste any time. Let's get going. gonna make netherite armor. I like my diamond armor, but I will make netherite tools because I really want that durability at least a netherite shovel when it comes to mining that much dirt. Oh yeah, you need smithing template upgrades for netherite now. That's the thing I completely forgot about. That's fine. It only costs diamonds, and I have infinite diamonds from my diamond printer. For the first time on this world, I'm actually planning on using mud as a building block, or more specifically, what's it called? The packed mud? Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I don't have any mud at all, so I have to go dig some out of the ground. Even though I could technically automate it with my dirt farm, I just don't feel like doing that right now. Good thing I've stolen a lot of hay bales recently from villages, so I have a bunch of wheat just on hand, ready to turn into packed mud. I've added a new mod that should help a lot with building as well, and it especially adds these randomizer bags, which from my testing are going to be really nice, really helpful for building. It basically does exactly what it sounds like. So we're going to make the diamond randomizer bag, and it seems like the way this works is you basically get some blocks that you want. Like here, let's say I've got terracotta, brown bricks, and umber bricks. You can open the bag. Then I can put some bricks in here. Like, we'll put one of each brick in there. And then as long as the blocks are in my inventory, I can right click with the bag, and it actually just randomizes the placing of these blocks. All I have to do is click with one thing, and it randomizes it. So right now it's basically 33% of each of these block types that are in here. But if I added, oh, I don't know, like a bunch of extra umber bricks, then it's going to mostly place umber bricks and only rarely place the non-umber bricks. So the percentages are basically however many things you have in here. It's going to be what it is. So this would be overwhelmingly umber bricks, but this over here is 33%. So that's going to make any kind of randomization, like the way this, I wouldn't have to do this manually anymore. I would just load it up with one of each because that's about meant to be 33. Then I'd throw it in their bag, and then I'd just start right-clicking, and it would just work. Same with down here. With these blocks, it's not applicable for all randomization circumstances where I want it to be random, but in big groups, like over here, so it's not always going to work. But in some cases, it will massively speed up what I can do. Why is there just a gamer girl colonist visiting? Like, all the other colonists are, like, normal-looking, maybe, I don't know, 18th, 19th, early 20th century clothing. And then there's just gamer girl here. Why are you even here? You want an enchantment table? Oh my gosh, are those even rabbit ears? Okay, go sell your bathwater elsewhere. So I've got part of the interior done here, but it's extremely rough and needs a lot more work. But more excitingly is this building over here, this gigantic factory warehouse area that now I could fill with tons of stuff. I don't even know if I'll have enough to put in here. But I think it's a pretty cool looking building, and it would have been so much harder if it weren't for that randomizer bag. That was a massive blessing. Some of the windows are covered with bricks, others are actually exposed. And I'm really happy with the randomized textures for the windows. I think that looks really nice. It's just a giant space to do whatever I want, like cast steel cannons. But I need to move the steel over here, so this is where the unrealistic part comes in. My monorail is not going to be for personal transport. It's going to be for moving tanks full of molten steel around. If you've seen Attack of the Clones and remember the droid factory scene where they fall into like these giant buckets basically that carry molten metal, That's basically what it's going to be. That's what the monorail is going to be for. And that part's not necessarily unrealistic. The unrealistic part is having it come out right here and then like float over the train tracks and everything. That just would be a horrible idea for safety, but this is Minecraft, so I can do dumb stuff like that. So I'm going to cut a very realistic hole here. Hopefully that's going to be big enough, but let's go actually make some monorails now. So I can do it with the first section of this. Let me just get rid of that. And I put brackets here instead of the nuggets, and then sheets. And then I think I put the girders there. Yep. That is exactly how it's done. Definitely wanted to tie up as possible, and I would like it to go all the way to the back, like that. In fact, I might even need to execute a turn with it. If this comes too annoying, these hay bales here for the campfires, I can move it all up by 1 block and then be fine. So I need to then get the rail all the way up here. And I know this is up by a couple blocks. So let's see how bad that looks. Oh, that's pretty decent slope. But there's one thing that I need to check. Let me go grab a train and drive it over here onto that track. Oh no, you don't. You're not leaving before I get on the train. On the train. Yes, I boarded it. Slow down, slow down. Okay. That was close. Even when there's a train here, that looks pretty high up. That the... Oh, what the heck? What the heck is that? It looks plenty high enough that even when I have the thing going over here and the train, it's probably not going to be in the way. Why is there a horse in the window? Why are you here? What is it with horses and, like, ending up in weird places in this build? Look at that. That is a monorail carriage. That's pretty cool. Now I'm actually not remembering how I did this on the other world. I might need to go back and look. Okay guys, here, this is the design I made. I forgot this actually looks cooler than I thought. This is what it's gonna look like. It's got 5 different tanks, steel fluid tanks here. And it's just the bare minimum. Got a fluid interface in the bottom here. And then obviously somewhere I have to stick train controls, even though it's not really a train, it just is a requirement. Let me just get a screenshot of this. Oh cool, I can turn 1 barrel into 2 tanks. That's pretty epic. Thank you, game. Can actually show you the whole thing. So we have a stair here, a stair on the other side, stairs underneath, framed panels here, here, and then it's just 5 fluid tanks, then more stairs, and lastly a fluid interface. I don't know why I keep calling it a port. It's technically not. It's an interface. And then just apply the textures to the frame blocks. Sweet. And there is 1 big bucket. So how far apart can I build these anyways? Let's try another one here. Nope, that actually looks just fine. This is going to be a little bit tricky to deal with. So I have to put train controls here. I will put train controls here facing that way, and then train controls on this side. Put a train station here. And let me go get a train driver and see if this is going to work the way I'm hoping. Because I have to like stick a seat there, and I don't know if the train driver needs to be right next to the controls for it to work or not. So where is a small animal that I can make the train driver? Here you go. This chicken looks like it needs a job. Are you unemployed? Well, not anymore. So this will be a sure way of seeing if the chicken is able to access the other controls to drive in the other direction or not. Now that it's glued, let's go and assemble it. Okay, I think I got a thing for this now. It's got the correct slope. It starts here, and this thing goes all the way into the building. In fact, it curves around here, and I think it looks cool. I'm just gonna have to fix that and make it less hay bailey. If I give this guy the schedule, I don't know if he's gonna... The conductor needs to sit in front of the control block. In that case, I will make a separate carriage for it, or a separate thing to sit on, a 5th one. That's kind of cool looking, actually. I'm not too upset about having to add this. New spot for you. Very epic. Now to reassemble. Here you go. Yay, we're going. Oh, this is cool. Oh, I fell off. Nice, and then it just goes over here, and then now we're gonna go back. It's got a 5-second timer if it's working properly. Oh, yep, we're going back. And it goes over the train, and it looks, oh, and I fell off again. I don't have a seat, that's the problem. I think only complaint is it's going a little faster than I want. Arguably the hard part starts now, because this is gonna get loaded in a weird kind of way. It's not gonna get loaded from 4 different spots, it's gonna get loaded from 1 spot, and that spot needs to be right around here. Oh good, barely lines up. What I have to figure out now is positions for 3 other train stations that make the other buckets line up with that fluid interface, so that it stops basically at each different station for each bucket. It's going to stop right here, and look at that, the first one of these is linked with the port. Then it's going to move on, then oh look, it stops again, the other one's linked with a port, you probably get the idea. Next one is going to also move up until it stops there. It barely links, but it's still connected. And same with the last one. Perfect. Last thing I have to do is set up the same system over on this side. I've implemented the same system in this building where it gets unloaded. It's just the reverse of the other one, and it was a lot easier because it was all on a straight line, so I didn't have to deal with a weird curve. Now each of the different buckets gets unloaded at the same spot. It's really fun to watch as well, I have to say, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to call it there. I thought I'd have more time to actually build steel systems and blast furnaces and such, but I guess that is going to have to wait until next week. Oh yes, very important, before I forget. I need a name for this chicken. This chicken can't be riding in this gondola driving the monorail without a name. So any suggestions you've got, put them down in the comments and I will choose a name for our chicken driver in the next video. But either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button down below. I've been Sbeev. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.